Hey everyone, it's Tuesday. Let's talk sports algorithms. I'm not feeling that great. I was going to turn on the video camera, but I was like, my hair's all in mad scientist mode because I've been sleeping. One thing, when you're sick, you got to get sleep. The more rest you get, the more time you give your cells, that your immune cells that fight off and clear virus from your body and stuff like that, the more time you get them to work to do that. So I slept super late today and I feel better, just like yesterday. But for those who have to, like, when you have to get up early and go to work and stuff, or get up early and go to school, it's just the worst thing for your body when your body's telling you sleep, sleep, sleep because you need to heal. Instead, you don't, you go, you spread it to everybody else. I feel like there should almost be a law, like where you take a test to determine how sick you are in the morning, and you get to go back to sleep if you fail that test. So anyway, I'm feeling a little bit better. Not great, but feeling a little bit better. So let's talk about sports. Football game. Well, what was there a football game where the algorithm didn't do anything good? Yeah, it was Monday night's game. I didn't bet on this game because football's been having such an ugly run, and I'm sour on football. So here's a game where it's just completely awful again. So football, the next for those who subscribe to football, I'll be doing the file obviously this week. I'll spend some time with it to try to get it to do better things. But I'm serious about not doing football videos. Like I'm not talking about upcoming weeks until we start to have some good weeks again. And I feel confident in what's going on here. And there's also a chance that not publishing videos helps the algorithm. So wink, wink. We'll see what happens there. So football sucked, as predicted. Let's go to NBA. Let's go to NBA. NBA was not a great day yesterday. Let's talk about the Google Sheet also. So I have the Google Sheet that you can subscribe to get the picks for NBA and NHL for the entire month of November. It's only $50, and every day as I do this, thank you, Jeremy, thank you, Waddell, today for purchasing this. I'll do a video every day someone buys this for sure, because I have to send you the file that day. Also, I send you the 2 Excel files as well the day that you purchase this. I don't send the Excel files every day throughout the month. I send them the one day that you buy them, so that you can use them to update them yourself when I'm not available or sick, and it's 2 or 3 in the afternoon and I haven't done anything yet. You can get to work on this yourself. Also, if you just want to know how to use them, it's very helpful to do that. So anyway, so the Google Sheet has the results. So let's take a look at NBA's yesterday results, because the other good thing about the Google Sheet is that we have a static view of all the results that is a lot easier to manage than the Excel file, because the Excel file is kind of dynamic, and the Excel file doesn't just put a static snapshot of the picks at the time that we put them on there like the Google Sheet does. And I forgot about how nice that is in the Google Sheet. So yesterday we did not hit 2 of our 4 underdogs like we wanted to. We only hit one of them, which was Utah. I did talk about, and they were kind of the best one because of the injuries on Memphis here. So that's not all that surprising that we hit that game. And Charlotte also led this game for the majority of the game and then blew it to Sacramento. But you can see they did have some injuries, and that's sad because that could have been the second game. And also, the Pacers covered, I believe. I think they lost by, what did they lose by? You can tell. Yeah, sorry, they covered. This is right there. Yeah, they covered the spread. They lost this game by 7 and needed to cover 8, so barely. But they made a nice comeback. So I don't feel like this was all that bad, even though why did Atlanta get blown out? Anybody watch that game? I mean, that's crazy, right? That was a game where you really thought that underdog would win, and they got blown out. So I don't know what happened there, but not an awful day, but also not a real winning day either. You do get the Sixers down here. Actually, and another good thing, you get the Rockets covering. I did take that last night because I saw an extremely close game. The Rockets almost won this game at plus 310. So like that not a bad day, even though it wasn't a great day. It wasn't an awful day either. So that's NBA for yesterday. We're going to talk about today. So here's your Google Sheet snapshot, but let's get into the actual Excel file so we can dig into injuries real fast. So we only have one underdog on here. It's the Bulls at the Nets. However, the Bulls are at 61% injuries, but the Nets are at 88, so they're not perfectly healthy either. The Thunder are a little healthier than the Magic, and this game is almost a toss-up between the Warriors and the Heat. So actually, all these lines are kind of acceptable today. Phoenix is hurting a little bit against Minnesota. So let's check out our injuries, especially let's check out all the injuries really, because that's kind of important, especially the Bulls and everybody. Let's check out everybody. So you go to the injury pivot table, and the Bulls have 29% out. Andre Drummond is out. Zach LaVine knee. I always say knees are probably out because they're tough. Chest. Uh, I've never seen chest on here. You get a bruised chest. That makes that's unless he's going into cardiac arrest. I think that he's going to be okay. Chest. Quad also I think is generally going to be all right. So I think 2 out of 3 of those are playing. All right. I mean that's not that bad. So the Bulls, I would give them a little bit more health, and you could actually kind of change the injury report on those people to show you how much percentage they would get back, but we just glance at it to kind of understand. So that's not that bad. It's also a 13% margin. And so as we get over 10% margin in the current season here, it's reasonable. By the way, let's take a look at last season's stats, just to see what they do. I'm not saving last season's look. That has the Magic beating the Thunder, but they're injured. Everything, and it actually has the Nets, but only a 3% margin. So this is below 10%. You see these games are super close in last year's version. The only one that's consistent is Phoenix over the 2 years. So the Phoenix stays at number 1. So I mean, they are a little injured. Let's just take a look at what Phoenix's injuries are really quick. DeAndre Ayton out. Heel. Boy, they're coming up with some interesting parts of the body. Torrey Craig. I mean, heel, it's kind of like a foot. I feel like people generally play with that stuff because you're out if you can't walk, and your game time decision if you can. So Phoenix as the number 1 pick, consistent in both years. Injuries are kind of equivalent. Says they win by 8. They'll have to cover 4. So that's okay. I mean, everything above 10%, if you don't want to think and don't want to listen to me because of my terrible betting instincts, everything above 10% is supposed to win, but you have to look at injuries. As we saw, the Bulls may have some game time decision people playing, so that's takeable still. And the Thunder are going up against a more injured Magic. Let's quickly check the Magic's injuries just to make sure that if these guys are specifically out or look like they're going to be out, ankle probably plays. Oblique is out. Yeah, see, oblique's out. Yeah, you can't move. You can't turn with an oblique. It makes sense. Ankle probably plays. So that means that the Magic, maybe not necessarily so injured, makes this game even closer and makes this line not that great. Because you see how this line is much better? And the minus 165 is almost 149. So it's kind of like you probably just take these two, given that Magic were favored in the last season's version against the Thunder as well. And this is not a bad line either. Here's 2 healthy teams. It's in Miami. I'm not a huge fan of Miami this year, but don't ever listen to me. But that's at least a reasonable line. And what did last year's version say about that game? It says, got to refresh again. It says Golden State has a 3% margin. So it is consistent in both, even though it's a low margin, but it's also a reasonable line. So in summary there, it's Phoenix to win, it's the Bulls to win, and it's Golden State to win. This one's a little more sketchy, but you could have a 4-0 day with basketball today because NBA is good. So let's move on to hockey. Enormous slate today. Let's quickly talk about yesterday in the Google Sheet here in NHL. So yesterday was a pretty good day, actually. It says 2-1 here. So you're seeing we're stacking all the hockey games. So we were 3-2 2 days ago. Yesterday here on the first right here, you were 2-1. But the game you lost was almost exactly picked by the algorithm. It had essentially very close to a 2-2 tie with a 3-2 win for the Caps, ended up being a 3-2 overtime win for Carolina. But Washington plus 1.5 wins. And Washington plus 1.5 was only minus 150. I took that yesterday, and you can see Carolina to win was minus 195. So if you're thinking about which one of those picks paid better, and won. They both won, but Washington plus 1.5 at minus 150 paid better. However, they did not win the game. So the algorithm doesn't get that perfectly correct, but certainly gets the over under correct. Buffalo game, phenomenal. I mean, exact score for Detroit. Buffalo outscores it very close to the range. I mean, this is, if every game works like this Buffalo game, hockey just owns it. And similar stuff with LA St. Louis. I was not predicting LA to win this game because my instincts are terrible. They had no trouble winning this game. And look at this. Like, see this here? See this range? It was between 3 and 2. That's to be a 5-1. I mean, way to go, NHL, right? So let's talk about NHL today. Today's NHL, enormous schedule. Some of these goalies are confirmed, some are not. Let's talk about picks in order. Boston over Pittsburgh. Yeah, Pittsburgh has not been playing well. Notice that. Look at that. 29% of their games won in the last 15 and 40 overall. And Boston on fire. That's right. Linus Ullmark in there. Yep. Boston playing well at an underdog line. There you go. Boston to win. Number one pick of the day says they win this game 4-2-ish, all the way up to 7 or 8 goals if they really take it to Tristan Jarry. And it doesn't have Pittsburgh putting up more than 2 goals and probably about 1 goal if you're looking at the range between those two. So look for like a 4-1 game if the algorithm is correct about that. Number 2 pick of the day, Vegas over the Caps. So this is in Washington. Boy, if I was feeling better, I would take my kid to this game because we are Charlie Lindgren fans. Even though Kemper played really well yesterday against Carolina, they're both good goaltenders. But I really want to see Lindgren get this goalie rating up because of what he had last year, and I just like what I've seen from him. So this is a very, very interesting game. Caps playing an overtime game last night. I'm not going to bet against my team, but the algorithm says to do that. And Vegas extremely strong, as you can see here. Caps not playing bad though, so I'm a little suspect seeing this as a number 2 pick of the day. I feel like there would be better teams, or sorry, worse teams that a team is going to be playing against than the Caps with Charlie Lindgren in net. So I don't agree with this number 2 pick here, just personally. Let's go next. But I am a Caps fan, so I'm partial. Third pick of the day, New Jersey over Vancouver. Believable. Vancouver has got a win or two now finally, but wow, is New Jersey playing well? After they started off not as great. They played well in the preseason too. So interesting. Only minus 115. You do get some good lines in hockey. So that is New Jersey is the third pick, winning a 4-2-ish type game. Number 4 pick, Edmonton over Nashville. Yeah, Nashville's been playing awful. Look at history at Nashville, right? 13. I mean, brutal. There is almost nobody playing worse than Nashville right now, with the exception of Anaheim, who did just win a game against Toronto the other night. So it likes Edmonton over Nashville 5-2, all the way up to 8-0. So, and they're minus 165. So the lines start getting a little worse, but really likes Edmonton. I think it's a much better pick than Vegas over Washington, personally. 5 pick Florida over Arizona, sure, but they're minus 300. And I did just win a bet the other night with Arizona plus 1.5 against the Rangers. They're playing at their college Mullet Arena, right? It's a cozy place. They have not played bad there so far, even though they haven't won yet at home. I think they got close. So here it's Florida, team that you would think is a lot better. Bobrovsky's rating is not good this year. Only says 4.3 when you round this. So it does not think that the minus 300 is or that the minus 1.5 even barely covers. So it's a tough game. And sometimes you can get that Arizona plus 2.5 or something like that. That's not a bad pick here. As you can see, it doesn't cover it in the alternate score, but it does cover it in this score plus 2.5. So, but whatever, don't listen to me. Listen to the algorithm. 6, Islanders in Chicago. Likes the Islanders playing pretty. I thought the Islanders were playing better than this. Stalock's been playing excellent though, even though they just lost a shootout. He's been playing good. Line not good though, but it says they still win this game 5-2. Sorokin playing good. So this is in Chicago. Tougher game. We're starting to get down to the tougher games. You can feel it. LA and Dallas. Wedgwood and Peterson. 5-3 LA. They just played last night, but they took down St. Louis. Now they are going due south to Dallas. And so Dallas has not been playing as well recently. That could be an issue. And Peterson probably will go today instead of Quick, who I believe went yesterday. They are an underdog, so there's that. They are playing good hockey, and Dallas not playing as well. So that's probably a good pick here at number 7, plus 120. Eighth pick of the day. Where's the eighth? Eighth pick of the day down here. San Jose over Anaheim. Both these teams very low ratings. Lines about even. You can see both these teams. San Jose playing a little better, but Anaheim does get a win. Gibson's probably expected, although Gibson's been getting pulled a few times. So it's tough for this team to string some wins together, although it says extremely close. And it can only get up to about 4-2. So it likes an under in this game, especially if you don't pick a winner. Ninth pick up here. Carter Hart, our Philadelphia, the city that is annihilating the major sports right now between the Eagles, the Phillies, the Flyers. I don't know. The Sixers are not playing great, but we'll see. This season is young. Phillies ninth pick of the day, plus 225 against the Rangers. Look at how bad the Rangers have been playing. This pick should be higher up. But don't ever listen to me. Now, notice the adjusted power says no, but Carter Hart's rating is better than Shesterkin's. If you had told me that at the beginning of the year, that Carter Hart's rating would be higher than Shesterkin's, I would say no way. But that is what's going on right now. Is Philadelphia really outplaying themselves? You got barely a 3-2 game in both projections. So if you're betting exact score, it's saying 3-2 Philly. I say the L word. I don't want to because I curse it, but I will be playing Philadelphia today. Really because of this, because of the Rangers just not performing as much recently. They started off extremely strong and then they've just fallen off. So Philly, a team that still winning about half their games, but they got that city's doing all right now. 10th pick of the day. Calgary over Seattle at not a great line. And look at this. So Seattle's adjusted power is actually higher. And the only reason why they're giving this to Calgary is because Calgary historical streaks are better. So this game is a 3-3 tie game. And it's not strong. You can see 10th pick not strongly favoring Calgary. It's actually potentially favoring Seattle. So it's Seattle plus 1.5 here. That's what it is. And it's my bet the draw bet, which I always like to bet, which doesn't win all the time, but it's fun. 11th pick, Montreal against Minnesota. Plus 210. Wow. Well, there's another one where Montreal is going to try to pick off a big underdog line. I don't want to say the L word, but another pick that seems good. 3-3 tie, 3-3 tie with Montreal winning in overtime. There's something there. Both these teams playing about the same. You can see that Jake Allen's rating's above Marc-Andre Fleury. Fleury's all over the place. That's just a great line. So clearly Montreal plus 1.5 is going to be an acceptable line because they're plus 210. So that's probably the pick. It's Montreal plus 1.5, but to win for fun on a straight bet to get paid. And then the 12th and 13th last pick of the day is this one, which is Ottawa and Tampa Bay. And the algorithm keeps wanting to pick Ottawa barely, but this game's close, but it does give it to them by score of 4-3. And they're plus 170. Yeah, wow. Both these teams play, but Ottawa has been fighting harder. So once again, you got another plus 1.5 pick for a round robin on Ottawa there, and potentially a money line straight bet. Lot of action today. So that's the update, guys. I am Man, I'm going out to do stuff, but we'll see if I feel any better. I think I will. All right, guys. Good luck, everyone. May all your picks be winning. If you do one thing, I don't know. Do whatever you want. If you do one thing, cross your fingers that football gets better, because this is annoying me. This is unacceptable. There was one thing I wanted to mention. All right, so when you clear the filter here, I talked about it in the video yesterday or 2 days ago or something. So when we sorted this by descending, instead of using the point projections, we did it by the win score. All right, when we did it like that, that did create some winners up here. It's only 6 because Cincinnati now loses. It's still not great. Don't listen to me. Football's having issues, and I'm not sure if it's programming or if it's other nefarious activity. As I say, I just don't. I hate feeling like I got had, and that they're rigging games, and we're all just being being strung along, thinking that it's legitimate. I don't know. I haven't watched enough football, but it's certainly souring me on it. And that is why there will be no week 9 public video. It's going out to just people who paid. And I hope that will be more beneficial for us, rather than leaking this out and having everybody respond to it and stuff like that. All right. So good luck, everyone. May all your picks be winning.